I got a pocket full of money and a head full of dreams, body full of ambition, blessed to see the sun beam. Wake up to a world where they wanna tear you down, but for everyone that hated, look at where we at now. I ain't got time to waste to act with much haste, cause when God made me, he made no mistakes. Where the focus at? What a hope for the hopeless at? It's what I stand for when I lay it on the track. And say the world need people like we, cause when I get in my zone, you cannot stop me. Call it ultimate favor or ultimate grace. I'd rather be an asset than be taking up space. There be times at night when I be sitting and vibing, getting my car, my windows down while I'm driving, thinking about how to change the world around me and try to leave it better than the way that it found me.
So we're back. Welcome back to another episode, Barber Studio Talk. And like always, I'm joined with Benny to my left, RC to my right. And we got a touchy subject that we want to talk about. And it's really about the heart. So the title of the day is just Guard Your Heart. And so we're going to open up a bunch of worms, a can of worms as it relates to this topic, because there's so much that we need to cover. And there's a scripture that I have that I want to make sure I get this right before we start. And it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And so I'll just open up with you all, because my heart ain't always in the right place. That's true. And I don't fake it either, right? Now, people close to me know that I can walk through these seasons of my life where, you know, the pain that I've experienced, you know, the betrayal or different things like that. But I go back to this memory whenever I was a teenager, and I'll share something, you know, probably vulnerable that most men won't share. And as I'm trying to navigate life, trying to navigate marriage, trying to navigate being a parent, I realized that there was some hurt that happened whenever I was a kid, that out of my heart flowed the issues, right? Issues of life. And I didn't even know I was hurting people, but I was trying to protect myself. And it's a woman thing, right? So I get scarred at 14, have a bad experience with a woman at 14 years old, young lady at 14, and I say I got my heart broke, right? That's just what I believe. Got my heart broke, was crushed. And this is no knock to the young lady if she ever happened to see this. I'm just saying that this is why it's so important for us to make sure that we're healing from what we've dealt with, because we don't even realize, man, that we're bleeding on folks that didn't cut us. And so I have to go back and revisit this often, because I can remember the pain and how it made me feel. And I had it up in my mind. I said, I'll never feel like this again. Yeah. Which made me hurt people unconsciously, because I'm not a messed up guy. But guard your heart, though. Right? Because the things that you let in it gonna come out of it. Yep. One way or the other. You ain't no apple tree gonna produce no grapes. What's in you has to come out of you. And so I see it happen in social media. I see it happen in our communities. I see it happen in our families. Like, we need to start checking our hearts. We need to start checking the stuff that we're allowing to have access to us, the people we allow to have access to us, because it's really affecting us and it's hurting people that we say we love the most.
Yeah. Especially in relationships and friendships, like dealing with you, you know, like people say, come to Jesus, being able to be honest about what you really been through and getting the help that you need. Like, I experienced it, like anybody, any young male that's, like you talk about dating, you know, and I tell younger guys this now, rushing to heartbreak. That's what happens. You know, people get into relationships early, at an early age, you just rushing to heartbreak, and you're not going to be that green anymore, and you use that relationship. And if you're not careful, you'll use that relationship to measure every other person you deal with, and not really be honest about what you heard about, rejection, you know, it not working out, and just understanding, like, that's the real issue. Some people carry it into their marriages and don't realize it, that they still hurt from the first heartbreak. Me, I wouldn't say that was my issue. My issue was just learning how to openly express myself about what it is I was going through or what I was dealing with. So I totally agree with that.
Man, I'm gonna be honest and straight real. Family is hard to guard your heart from. And you growing up a family that you were so close with, and you see a breakup, I mean, that dealt with me for a long time. And at one point I didn't want to get married, you know, because I was trying to protect myself from seeing what I saw then. You get what I'm saying? So it's tough, man, to be honest. You have to deal with that. You have to really talk to people, you know, with your friends and really understand, like, man, that ain't who I am. I really want a family. I want to be a husband one day. I want to be a father one day. And I got past that, but I still was dealing with that past in my marriage. I'm going to be honest now. Still was dealing with that because of what I saw. Oh, I don't trust. You pushing away.
Yeah.
You got to be real.
Yeah.
But you work through those things when you really kind of understand what's going
Sorry for cutting you off, but we don't realize how many, especially amongst men, how we promote hurting other people. You know, when it comes to relationship, hurting women because you've been hurt. You know, you always growing up, all I heard was, you know, don't trust that woman, don't trust this, and because of they projecting what they've been through on you. And I hear a lot of times, you know, men pushing younger males or even older males, you know, not to get in relationships, not to get married. We don't have enough examples of people winning in relationships and actually being faithful in relationships because we're promoting the opposite, you know, and when you do decide that you want to be different and work through your issues and be faithful, you get looked down upon, get laughed at, well, you never know what she doing. I ain't worried about what she doing because I know what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So it's being promoted. And I think it's like we talked about earlier episode about it's gonna take men to change that. Like we gotta work through it together.
And the reason why we gotta work through it together is because like humans are flawed.
Right.
Like you'll never get out of this life without being hurt. Right. You'll never get out of this life without somebody you feeling offended in some type of way. That's gonna happen until you die. I think the issue is when we don't check it the right way. Right? So for me, I'm gonna just be real with you. What's toxic about me is that I could cut you off and you never know it. That ain't good.
I'm the same way.
Is that toxic?
That is toxic. Listen. The reason why it's toxic is because you should have a conversation with somebody. You should be able to express your feelings and your thoughts to it. Not that I have to ever deal with you past that, but if I don't tell you that, oh, I just cut you off, then what I'm going to do is unconsciously put a guard up, put a wall up for everybody else that I meet in my future. And then now, everybody I feel like did me like Benny, hey man, go ahead. And I'm telling you, I still, till this day, I struggle with dealing with people because I want to know their angle. Man, listen, my wife had to tell me this, and it's a heart issue that I'm still working through. Everybody ain't out to get you. Everybody, and I'm just so wired to think that way because of where I come from, that I have to really get to know you before I could see that you're not out to get me. And what I believe happened or may happen in my life is I may miss some opportunities for that. Now, because I done seen a whole bunch of fake stuff, so let's not just act like it's just come from naivety. I ain't just crazy, right? I done seen a whole bunch of people fake it. But it don't matter who it is. Initially, let me see what they own first.
They can watch.
You know, man, you talked about that.
Let me just see how they coming, and that's a hard thing. And I'm not because the reason why I say we need to check this is because that's not how God do us.
No.
And if we're here, people on this earth that are the hands and feet of Jesus trying to help make an impact, we have to have a different approach to how we deal with our heart.
So, question: why is it so hard for us to give grace?
This is in RC. Take a shot at it, but I believe, in my opinion, that it's harder for us to give grace because we wouldn't do people how they do us. Like, I'm loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
If somebody tell you that I was talking about you behind your back, if somebody tell you that I tried to stab you in the back, somebody tell you that I tried to holler at your wife, your old lady, or anything like that, they're a bald-faced lie because that ain't what I do. Right. So it's harder for me to give grace in an area where I feel like I wouldn't have done you that. But that's not what the Bible tells us to do. Because so many people are going to wrong you in a way that you wouldn't wrong them. So I believe that's the hard part for me. RC?
I mean, for me, there's a lot of people pretending to be what I actually am. There's a lot of people playing roles, and you can see it. You know who you're dealing with. You know your woman, you know your friends, you know your family, you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
We don't never not know. We do be giving them grace. It's just they step on your toes. I don't think in my case it's never hard for me to give grace. It's just I think it's a blessing and a curse to be able to actually see people for who they are now. As I grow and mature as a man, I can see it and I can't unsee it. You know, I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt until you show me something different. It's just people have patterns. And it's hard for a fraudulent person to continue to do something that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? They gonna take a break. They take breaks.
Yeah.
Or ain't nobody looking. We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think it's hard for me to give grace. It's just a lot of untrustworthy people out here. And, you know, I pray that, because I got to work through it, man. Me and him done talked about it where I don't make everybody my friend. Me and him took me and him forever to really get on the phone and start hanging. We had to learn each other.
I want to stop you where you just said untrustworthy people. But it says in the Bible, don't trust man, right? So we know this. Why are we putting trust in man? Like, I'm going to be honest. I got my ways where I love you, but I don't trust you. So that means I don't put nothing past you. Right. I know you're prone to make a mistake. So if you make that mistake, I'm not upset. I'm not to that point to where, okay.
But, bro, everybody, it's levels to it. Like, it's levels to mistake making. Like, me sleeping with your wife is not a mistake.
That's true. That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
Me cussing you out because we done had an argument, that's just a misunderstanding. We can get past that. We can work through that. Right. It's levels to it. Stealing from me, listen, hold on. I'm gonna put my wallet right there because I'm gonna believe in me. I'm gonna speak for me. I feel like anything you got, you can leave it with me, and you're gonna come back and find it the same way. But there's some people you can't. It's just, I feel like it's levels to who you can trust when it comes to stuff like that. Like, but far as saying that, you know, how you worded that, I don't think. Everybody make mistakes. Yeah. It's just levels to it. I don't cancel you out because you made a mistake. It's what you did. Yeah. You know, and that, to put that distance, they're gonna put that distance between us.
And so here's the thing that I think the challenging part is because I'm not saying that I'm guarding my heart as it means that I don't trust people. Like, I do have people I trust. Right. I'm saying the toxic stuff for me is that, bro, and I'm talking through it now with y'all. Like, I know it ain't right to be like that. Right. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's a heart issue that I deal with whenever, bro. We could be at work, we could be at church, we could be at a ball game. I'm talking about, like, cause normally, and here's why I think it's rooted from. This is because most of the times people don't care about me; they care about what I can do for them. And so I put people in a category like somebody called me, I ain't saying y'all, but I'm just speaking because I know y'all cats. So I know y'all ain't trying to use me. But man, like, people won't even call to ask how I'm doing. Right. The first thing they ask for is something. Yeah. And I'm like, man, you ain't even got sense enough to care about me. Right. And what I've learned is that over the years, that has become a heart issue for me. Because there may be people that I'm supposed to be helping, but being that I've done that so much, I'm like, man, look, don't even call me, man. But
takers consistently take from you. They always need. They got a pattern. Like, there's some people that call my phone. I believe God got a phone. He ignore you. That's RC. I done watch your whole life. You ain't finna do shit. You know what I'm saying? So I do them the same way. You know, I'm like, this the same. It's gonna be the same conversation. I'm a solution-based person. You don't want to solve your problem. You just want to put that on me. I got wife, I got kids, I got people that really need me. I don't want to talk to you because you just want to dump that on me. Yeah. I guess I got dumpster on the front of my forehead. Yeah. So my thing is like being careful, like even in relationships, I encourage young men who brag about how many women they being with. When you get married, you bring that into your marriage. Those experiences don't go away. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And now you got this woman in your house and you measuring her from these 60 women you've been bragging about, and she can't measure up. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different angles you can go with that.
So I'm a switch gears then, because I think it's good that we address it. But like, why is it so hard for men to admit they were hurt?
They don't want to look soft.
Like
they don't want to look weak.
Like, listen. So I've had and look, my wife, man, I'm talking about solid chick. Solid chick. And I don't, I read this book and it talked about trust the goodwill of the people that you chose. Which meaning that you don't sit around and think that they just conjuring up something in their mind to hurt you intentionally. But there are things that hurt. Yeah. I'm sure there are things that I do that hurt my wife. But she's more apt to just tell me about it. Yeah. Me, on the other hand,
sit there and take it.
And I'm like, I'm good. and I know something wrong with me.
He crying on the inside.
I'm talking about mad, like waiting on the opportunity. And I'm like, nah, but so I've learned, because I've been married 10 years, I've learned now, like, Kim, let's talk.
Yeah, better.
Like let's have a conversation. And what I've learned to do is, man, talk about my heart. Like, not blaming you, but that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying it has made the world of a difference in my marriage. That's why I'm saying, like, for us as men, we have to start talking about the condition of our heart, because it flows. Everything else flows from it. I don't believe the scripture is wrong. I believe it's right. There's some unchecked stuff that we have going on the inside of us. That you go home and your wife or your kids, they don't do it a certain way, and really you bothered by that.
Yeah, upbringing too.
But check this out. Don't nobody say nothing. So why?
But bro, you remember the first episode we talked about, us expressing ourselves as men. You gotta understand who you're marrying. Y'all wasn't raised in the same house. It ain't gonna never be done how your daddy wanted it done in your house. It ain't gonna never be done how my mama wanted it done. I had to get that in my system. Like, my mama didn't raise her. Her mama didn't raise me.
But did it affect your heart at first?
It did, because I'm like, why you ain't doing this shit? Because in my mind, in my soul, the way I was raised is the way everybody should see things, and that ain't how it go in marriage. Because that's a thing, that somebody to tell folks that's trying to get married, you merge in two worlds, upbringings, lifestyles. And so if you're not careful, you're gonna end up in a divorce. You're gonna have a lot of issues in your marriage because you want what you were brought up, how you were taught.
I think our conversations are not directed in the right directions before we get married as well. We're not being real with everybody. We're not telling them, we actually think it's gonna be the birds and the bees and all. It's gonna just be happy-go-lucky when you get married. That's not real. So you got to have the real conversations. You got to let them know, man, this is not gonna be how your home was. You got to really understand. You got to adapt with this person. You got to learn this person. It's real. Like, this ain't no fairy tale. We got to let all that go. So we got to have real conversations.
So do you think, and anybody, do y'all think our hearts got the capacity to handle that, like, right away? Because see, the reason why I asked that question is because that all sound good.
You got it now.
I got it now.
But if I would have brought you a real Negro class back then, get out of my face, man. I want to hear that. I know she's beautiful. We gonna be happy. Everything gonna be good. I got the dress picked out. She got a dress picked out. You got the suit picked out. Yeah. But they don't tell you
the realness.
Come on.
The realness. You got to wake up with this person every day and see.
Ain't no days off.
No days off. And those conversations are not real. You don't know that. You don't think about those things. The journey of growing with this person. You just think it's gonna be all great.
So let me ask you this: your heart? Mm-hmm. So you at a place now where you can openly talk. look at, he gonna laugh. I'm coming to you too. Where you can openly talk about the issues in your heart.
Oh yeah, I'm there now.
Okay.
Was I there 3 years ago? 2 years ago? Oh, well, I say 2 years ago, but 3 years and 4 years ago? No, I wasn't.
Gotcha.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
That was still a process and trying to get there.
I'm gonna come down your road, brother RC. I'm just saying, let you gonna be real. Because look, and you my guy. Cause we chop it up more than most folks do. Cause and look, I know.
Yeah. Come on.
I know you be bothered, dog, by how people be moving. Yeah. Cause I can see how you come sometime, and I be like, man, my boy RC gonna tell it. But I'm saying, are you okay with your heart and being able to express openly how whatever somebody did, what they said, made you feel?
Man, I'm gonna word this the right way. Sometimes you gotta know who you're talking to. So I come through the door, I came out talking. This easy for me. Some people don't know how to have a conversation. It depends on who that person was dating before you. See, if they were dating somebody that didn't like to talk, they never knew how to apologize and work through things. I come from that person didn't, where they just like to act like it didn't happen. Or it happened. So, but if you go in there with the mindset of, I'm gonna pull a conversation out of you, it don't work. I had to learn how to, meet her halfway. because everybody is not a talker. Everybody don't know how to express themselves. Everybody's not as bothered as me. See what I'm saying? I even learned that working on that. You know, yeah, might not even take that shit that personal. You see what I'm saying? Because some stuff you taking personal, and it really ain't really that big of a deal. You see what I'm saying?
One of the 4 agreements in this book, and this is why I'm saying I'm talking about our heart, because I'm reading this book called The 4 Agreements, and one of them is don't take it personal.
Right.
Don't take anything personal. Now that's easy to say,
Yeah.
but I take
Guard your heart part, right?
but I take a lot of stuff personal. Yeah. I'm just being real with because I don't think I would have did you that.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm an over communicator, if I'm loyal to a fault, and it's not just in relationships like my marriage, I'm talking about it be certain slights that I be seeing folks do slick stuff, and if I don't check it, I become bitter. Right? I shut people out. Mm-hmm. Like I make people that really love me suffer.
Yeah, that's not good.
And so I'm saying, as it relates to our heart, like guard your heart, and man, we could talk for hours on this subject. Like we really need to start looking at the issues in our heart and start pulling back the layers on how you got to this place. Mm-hmm. Like what make you like this? Because there's certain things that I can see that can just trigger me and make me be like, yep. And then I hold on to it. It don't even be like that. So I'm saying the reason why I'm open about it now is because I know whenever I talk about it, I can get another perspective other than my own. And that's why it's good for us to communicate what's going on in our heart, because when somebody tell you, man, you took that the wrong way. Mm-hmm. That ain't how I meant it. Mm-hmm. Right now I get a chance to cleanse what I let build up and fester in my heart, because out of it flows everything else. The issues of life comes out of this thing here. Yep. And it ain't always clean. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying as men, we got to have more open dialogue. And I know women like this too, but there are also women I know that are more open, they're more free. They like to talk about stuff and they get it off their chest. But us as men, our communities are suffering. Our homes are suffering. Our churches are suffering because we walk around with unchecked stuff on the inside of us.
Not talking.
And it makes us treat people how they shouldn't be treated. Makes us put walls up to the people that we're supposed to be helping and letting in. And I'm not blindly trusting anybody. Them days are over with. Right. But I'm saying I don't want my heart to be a reason why I miss what God trying to do in my life. Mm-hmm. And the reality is I can look back on some of the stuff that I've done, some of the things that I've said, some of the stuff that I shouldn't have let get too personal to me. I know there were things that I missed. And so that's why we do this, because we're trying to just create a safe place, some common ground where people understand it's okay to feel how you feel. It's just not okay to let it make you bitter.
And stop looking for you in other people. That's the big part for me was, everybody don't have morals and principles. Everybody don't value people. Everybody not honest about who they are. And I be bothered by seeing other people being mistreated. You know what I'm saying? That's my struggle. I can honestly say that I can't watch somebody do you wrong. They telling me about it. I'm finna do this to him. I'm looking at you now. Like you'll do that to him, and sometimes they call you family, friends. What you gonna do to me? And knowing how to navigate how I'm gonna deal with that versus, because a lot of stuff, people don't bother me. I just watch other people. You know what I'm saying? That's real.
I just don't put it past them no more. I done seen a lot.
Yeah.
Benny, we're going to do some more work on our heart, bro. Because Benny, like, I don't want to hear nothing you talking about. But I get it. And look, it's good because it's not about us fixing it here. It's just about us being more aware.
There you go.
Right? You go. Create the awareness, create the space for us to talk like men and be okay with feeling like you feel, but knowing that, man, look, the other side of that are some consequences if you don't check that, if you don't fix that.
My sister tell me I got a cold heart. She tell me that.
We're going to work on that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And look, if somebody else noticed something, it may be an indication that there's some truth in it, right? And the reason why it's important for us to check it is because on the other side, like there's nothing that God is really going to get through. Like there's a level to it. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, your heart is going to dictate how far, how much he can trust you with the people and the things that you say you want.
Right.
And sometimes our heart, just like a heart attack, it blocks. Blockage in your heart will kill you. A messed up heart will destroy your dreams. And I just don't want to be that guy that allowed his heart, unchecked mess, stuff I took personal, to rob my family, rob my kids, rob everything that's attached to me or the people that I'm supposed to be a blessing to. And so that's why we talk about this. And so listen, we don't have time in this one segment to talk about the heart. And we could, but we'll go on for days. But we will be back talking about this because it's not just us three up here. If we dealing with it, we sure that other people out there struggling with the heart, struggling with the issues that happen in the heart. But we thank you all for tuning in. We hope this has helped you. We hope this has brought some light, some clarity to some things that you may be dealing with in your own life. So go like, go subscribe, and go share it, and we'll see you all next time.
When I be sitting and vibing, getting my car, my windows down while I'm driving, thinking about how to change the world around me and try to leave it better than the way that it found me.